Good morning. Welcome back to Daytime at 9. If your child was suffering from dyslexia, would you be able to recognize the signs? Rafael Scarnati with Learning Foundation is here with some really important information, and he's going to help parents today that, may be worried about their child, whether or not they have dyslexia or not. And I feel like everyone has heard of dyslexia. They know it is a learning disability, but what is it exactly?
Sure. So there's a lot of people have heard about dyslexia, but there's a lot of misunderstandings about what it actually is. So we consider dyslexia to be actually more of a learning difference, and I'll get into that in a little bit when I talk about the strengths of people with dyslexia. But basically it means that you have difficulty with reading, writing, and spelling. It's highly genetic, so it's not caused by parenting or environmental factors or things like diet or poor schooling or anything else. They're just born with it.
Okay. How common is it among kids?
So estimates show that it's between 15 to 20% of kids in school with dyslexia. That's a lot. There's varying degrees. So your child might be either mildly dyslexic or severely or profoundly dyslexic.
Okay.
And so there's a lot of different characteristics and warning signs that parents can use to identify whether or not they feel that their child might be dyslexic.
All right, well, let's go to those warning signs, and we'll talk about strengths too. But first up, if you have a preschool age child, these are some of the warning signs, correct? Can we go over some of these?
Yes. So a lot of times when parents go to school and they're concerned about their kindergartner or their first or second grader, the schools might tend to tell them that they need to wait until about third grade.
That.
Yeah, and it's actually, research shows that you can identify kids with dyslexia as early as kindergarten. So these are some warning signs that you should look for. So if your child had history with speech, so if they had delayed speech, when they're talking, if they get their sounds confused, like saying Pisgetti or aminal or little cutesy things like that. Oftentimes these kids have difficulty learning to tie their shoes. We see a lot of kids that have a history of ear infections. So if they had ear infections or tubes, they're highly likely to have some difficulty with processing the sounds.
And the sounds, that makes sense. Now, those were some of the warning signs if you have a preschooler. Now, if you have an elementary age child, the warning signs are a little different, correct?
Yes. Well, if they had a lot of those preschool signs, but then once they get into elementary school, first, second, third grade, they start noticing that they're having some difficulties with their reading. Now, and it's not that they can't read, it's that they're reading kind of slowly, or it's a little bit choppy.
It's harder
for
them?
Yeah, it's a little bit harder, so they tend to guess at words based on the shape of the word or based on the context of the story. They rely a lot on the picture clues or context to be able to read. And so if you're seeing that they're not reading very efficiently, very fluidly, and especially if they're having a lot of difficulty with their spelling, those are a lot of warning signs for dyslexia. If they spell phonetically by, they hear the sound and then they write the sound instead of spelling it the way that it's supposed to be spelled.
Okay, and we'll have all of these warning signs on our website, foxsanantonio.com, as well, for you parents to look at. But really quickly, there are also some strengths that children with dyslexia have, and I know you wanted to mention some of those as well.
Yes, so the reason why we consider, and a lot of the research shows that dyslexia is more of a learning difference, is that those same wiring differences in their brain that account for those weaknesses also account for certain strengths.
Okay.
So people with dyslexia tend to have average to above average intelligence, and they have very strong visual spatial skills. They tend to be very creative and artistic.
Okay,
they're very empathetic, so they're very good at reading people. So they're very good at things like Legos and Minecraft and puzzles. And
Got it.
Adults with dyslexia are excellent at sales, marketing. There are a lot of actors and musicians and artists are dyslexic. So all of those strengths go along with those weaknesses. So if you see your child is struggling with reading, writing, and spelling, but they also have all of these other strengths, then it is highly likely that they might be dyslexic. And as a parent, I would strongly recommend for you to to try to get your child tested, so that they can identify what are the ways to help them become more confident readers.
Now, speaking of getting them or having them evaluated, that is what you do at Learning Foundation. So you have a special offer for our viewers. Families that attend one of your free parent seminars, you will receive a $100 gift certificate, which you can put towards a comprehensive dyslexia evaluation at either of your locations there at Learning Foundations. And you have these free parent seminars on Monday nights from 6:30 to 8 o'clock at your Thousand Oaks location. You can call them or go to their website, but they would like you to RSVP and let them know you're coming. 210-495 2626. You can also go online, again, learningfoundations.com/free parent seminar. And for more information on Learning Foundations, 2 locations, one in San Antonio, one in Bernie. And the main number to call is 844-TX-LEARN. Or again, you can always go online, learningfoundations.com. Raphael, thank you for being here. This is such important information as we move into the new school year. So I'm hoping we helped out some parents today.
Yes.
Nice to meet you, sir. Thank you.
You too. Thank you.
All right, everyone, stick around.